Good morning from Frinton Gospel Chapel. My name is Paul and this is the Midweek Thought. You know you've heard God talk through a sermon when you can't get it out of your mind, and so it is with me. Just recently we heard about Abraham and the decisions he had to make, and also about his nephew Lot and the decisions that he made. And that resonated with me. Just a reminder, Genesis 12 to 19:29 tells how Abraham and his family set out with his nephew Lot, and after many adventures they'd become very wealthy. They had so many possessions that the land could not sustain both Abraham's clan and Lot's clan. They arrived at a crossroads, and Abraham asked Lot to choose which way he wanted to go. And Abraham said he would go the other way. You see, the problem is, I associate with how Lot responded. Oh, that I could be like Abraham, just pack my bags and go where God might send me, to turn my back on the delights of this world and look only to the promised land, to prefer the narrow, harder road and not look to the pleasures of the fertile lands. Lot had a choice, and he chose the easy life. He chose a land that looked like the garden of the Lord, and there were also the bright lights of the great city. Abraham said, "You choose," so he did. The obvious decision. What would you do? I know what I would do. Thank you, Uncle. The plains are for me, not the mountains. The grass looks greener, the road looks smooth. For a lot less work, I can become healthy, wealthy, and happy. It's not like that, is it? How happy are the wealthy? How healthy are the wealthy? Why do they all seem to need Botox and therapy? Why aren't they content? As we read this section in the Bible, we hear that it doesn't go to plan for poor old Lot. He's caught up in a battle between rival kings as they fight over his fertile land, and he's taken prisoner. Abraham has to come and rescue him. Then years later, Lot is living in a house in the town. A nice house, most likely. But it doesn't seem to me as if it's turned out as he had intended. His daughters are betrothed, but his future sons-in-law have no respect for him or for God. And that beautiful looking city is not the place to be out and about in after dark. Lot had made a bad choice. He was ruled by his earthly logic. He put himself first. I can see no point in this passage where it says that Lot asked God what he thought about it. What might God have said? You see, God makes me laugh. I asked him once whether it was okay for me to go on an expensive holiday. And I clearly remember him saying, "It's up to you." I could almost picture him just shrugging his shoulders as if he didn't care. It didn't matter to him if I went or not. But all the way through that time away, I kept reflecting on his response, and it kept me focused on him and thankful that he had given me the free will to choose. God really wasn't fussed whether I went on holiday or not. The important question for God was, am I invited on this holiday as well? I mentioned earlier how the recent sermons have spoken to me, and the midweek thoughts have been challenging me as well. The thing that's on my heart is, how do I stop putting myself first and God second? And I've set myself a challenge that whenever I'm talking with people, I should try not to start a sentence with the word I. And I find that hard. It is so easy to want to tell people what I've been doing, what I've been thinking. Listening can be so much more difficult than talking. I also know that just like Lot, I have made poor choices, selfish choices, the wrong choices. And sadly, I will most likely continue to do so. But you see, I don't believe it is making the wrong choice that is the problem. It's the reasoning behind it that matters. If we have asked God for his thoughts, but not clearly heard him, we can still make the wrong choices, but with the right intentions. My good friend Steve threw me a really good challenge recently. He said, if Jesus walked the earth today, would he have played golf? And that one, it still gets me, and I honestly don't know the answer. But don't get me wrong, anyway, my life has not been all about making poor choices. I have got some things right. Or rather, God has helped me to either do the right thing, or he has made good out of something less good. And I get some real reassurance from how God deals with Lot in this situation. Angels rescue him and lead him to safety. And sometimes you just have to say something twice. Angels rescue him and lead him to safety. Lot never lost his awareness of the presence of God. When they approached him in Sodom, he knew who they were when others around him had no idea. And in that, I can have some confidence that despite all my failings and bad decisions, God will not forget me, and his angels are there to rescue me. I do not associate myself with all that Lot did, and will pass over his later life, as it is just this one episode that challenged me. This is just a thought that would not go away. At the crossroads, when there is a major decision to make, not the trivial where shall I park my car kind of thing, but one that will have consequences. Do you take the obvious, logical, earthly one? Or do you check first with God and take a little time just to check out what his plan might be? So to summarise, I have two thoughts for us to ponder on this week. Firstly, if you were Lot, which road would you have chosen? And secondly, what would have happened if Lot had chosen the mountain route? God bless.